know. I don't know how any of you guys are going and going and going. I know you gotta be at the same level of mental health as me. Every day it's something new between the fucking news and the fucking stupid Biden and stupid Trump. And this country's fucked. Every day we're spending more and more money. None of us are getting ahead. The rich people are the ones that are fucking getting ahead. I'm tired of struggling. I've done everything I can. I'm trying to be a good man. I take care of my daughter. I take care of my wife the best I can. I can't keep going. Every day it's something new. Then on top of that, as if you're not trying to spend money, you have to. Fucking everything's expensive. I own a painting company. I still can't fucking make it. I'm fucking trying, man. I can't look at my daughter and my wife and know I'm failing. I'm fucking Everybody wake up. It's time to stand up. It's time to be tired of this. It's our turn to fucking eat. I want to eat. I want my family to eat. I want you guys to eat. Stand up. Let's go. Stand up, man. Let's fucking eat. I'm tired. Let's help each other. I don't care what your political affiliation is. I don't care what fucking color you are. If you are not eating and you're struggling, eat with me. Let's struggle together then. Let's be a team.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Um, man. As the tables are turning, what we're looking at here is an Edomite basically going before the world, making a fool of himself. And I'm noticing that there's a trend of people, even our people, but predominantly you Edomites, take it to these media platforms and, you're showing your discontent for this society, for this government, which, hey, as we say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, because now that things are starting to take a turn for the worse for you devils, now the whole world has to halt themselves in order to come to your aid. And this is just the roost, or the chickens coming home to roost. Because, see, when we were going through these things, like I was, watching a couple of documentaries and, going back into the time of the Black Wall Street and, Red Dawn, which was basically an equivalent atrocity that happened. I think it was back in Chicago, like in 1919 or something like that, 1920. Post-slavery, when Jake was so-called released from their captivity, which we was never released, but when Jake was pretty much pushed off to live and form our own communities, we were doing quite well and wealthy. And Edomites saw that and they didn't like it, so therefore they destroyed our towns, our homes, our families, our institutions, And fast forward 30 plus years down the line, you had something which is called the Civil Rights Movement, which the Civil Rights was set up to integrate Jake into companionship with Edomites because they can control the narrative better versus them just coming out and committing crimes against humanity, blowing up Jake's towns and destroying our people for prospering. They decided to say, you know what, well, let's integrate everybody. That way we can have a more control or say so economically over these people because Jake was prospering. Okay, like they showed you during the time of that in the movie Harlem Nights. I think Harlem Nights took place like in the 1930s or something like that. But even prior to that, you had Jake that was doing relatively well. And then what do you have? You had that Italian, basically he was like a henchman or a muscle for the mob. The guy name was Bugsy Calhoun, which was the mob boss. And he had a dirty cop, which was his henchman, to pretty much shake down Jake because they nightclub was bringing in a lot of money. He was bringing in more money than the Edomites. So they said, you know what, we got to extort these people. You know, so our people have been the product of extortion since we got over here from Western Africa, even Europe, parts of Europe. Our people have been the primary extorted among you nations, man. So fast forward to 2024, why should we feel bad because this devil was struggling when, in fact, this is the same system that you build and that you voted for? Okay, you put into the system, you opted into the bloodshed, you opted into the capitalism, you opted into all these things. And you may say, well, directly I wasn't responsible. Well, indirectly you were because your ancestors, your family, your peoples, you know, your great-great-grandfathers and grandmothers, they pretty much were the face of this corporation, which it still is today. And they've put Jake in slavery, and you've stolen, and you've pretty much depleted us of resources now. So now that you're facing a similar ordeal, now everybody got to hear your cry. Well, I don't feel bad for this guy, man, or the average American, because, you know, we've warned people through the spirit that this place that you call Babylon the Great was going to be destroyed. But first, it was going to be destroyed morally, okay, then economically, then it's going to be destroyed physically. Morally, shit, that's already accomplished because the people in this society, they have no morals. Now, financial-wise, because now, you know, the economy is collapsing. The banks are going on. You got bank runs. Okay, the dollar purchasing power is really less than nothing. Okay, the gold standard has been going since the 70s, and on top of that, it's a shit show, man. Okay, businesses are closing down left and right. These cities are going under. Certain cities are looking like third world countries. Like I was looking up Gary, Indiana, yesterday, which was pretty much lucrative during the time of the 30s, you know, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, especially when you had like the first and second industrial revolutions, you know, steam liners and factories and assembly plants and stuff like that. A lot of those things is what made, you know, Gary, Indiana and Detroit, Michigan, you know, Cleveland, Ohio. It's pretty much made those places pretty much gold mines for that time. But now you look at these cities, they're totally through, you know, so hey, it is what it is. Man breaks down due to financial struggles and current economic climate. It's our turn to fucking eat. Well, hey, that's your problem if you're not eating. You should go to your elites, which technically he's crying out. You need to go to them and complain, okay? Because, see, like I said, we've been in this type of struggle since we got off the fucking banana boat. So I don't feel bad. It is what it is. You know, you can cry and shed your little crocodile tears to somebody who cares, but you people, man, it's at the end. This is it. Okay? So anyway, let's go from here to the book of Sirach 41. And I'm going to start at verses... Let's start at verses 5. It says, the children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. Okay, the children of sinners. It says, the inheritance of sinners, children shall perish, and their prosperity shall have a perpetual reproach. Okay, because, hey, this guy here, I mean, you could say that his family, he got a painting company, right? Which painting can be lucrative just depending on what season, in season, out of season. But there's always going to be a demand for painting homes because, I mean, they're constantly building. Okay, but he's struggling financially being a licensed painter and having his own shit, which it takes money to run a business. But let's just say two, three generations down the line, his great great grandparents, they've had land, they got cattle, they have slaves, you know. But where's that wealth at now? Where's the trust fund? You know, all these things that you Edomites always pride in. Well, you know, your trust fund babies, you know, $1 million babies, $2, $3 million. These Edomites, man, they got money. They family, look at some of the houses they live in. You know, you got Edomites that's living in mega mansions right in these particular cities. Like it's a place on War Parkway Avenue out here in Kansas City. I'm talking about these are where your judges live, your lawyers, your prosecuting attorneys, you know, all the people that extorted Jake for financial resources for so long, to the point, man, they've gotten all the wealth in the city. And these are 15, 20 bedroom mansions, man, with underground bunkers in them, you know. But yet you get people out here struggling. This guy, he's complaining, you know, because where is his inheritance? Should no Edomite be poor in this kingdom? Every Edomite should have some type of bag or some type of refuge they can resort to. But because Esau's the devil, he don't even look out for his own people. It says the children of sinners are abominable children, and they that are conversant in the dwelling of the ungodly. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish. Yeah, your belongings, your possessions, okay, your monetary systems, your society. Okay, it says, and their prosperity shall have a perpetual reproach. Yeah, because now you're not prospering. Now Jake is doing better than you. And Esau hate to see that Jake is doing better than them in their felon kingdom. But what we're witnessing is that Yahweh Shem Yahushai is turning the tables around. You know, it's kind of like a 360, because the Most High said that those curses are going to be upon our enemies. And we're witnessing. Okay, because we've been neck deep in the curses. I mean, still. And Jake, you know, what they tell us, lace yourself up by the bootstraps, go out there and get it. You know, because one thing about black men have no financial help. We have nothing to fall back. We have to go out there and get it in the dirt, in the mud, or whatever the hell they want to call it. We got to go out there and we got to get it how we get it, with no help, no support, no nothing. And if we don't get it, we'll be considered a failure. But if a so-called white man falls down, or a white woman, or a black woman, you know, or any other race, they have some type of help that come to their aid. Now, it's true you do have bummy, derelict Edomites out there, but those Edomites, man, they just got high strung on drugs. They gave up, you know, and some of them just say, you know what, fuck it, I'm done with it, you know. But the help is there if they needed it. It ain't nothing for them to pick an Edomite up off the street and clean them up. But resources are getting limited, you know. And it says, and the children will complain of an ungodly father, because they should be reproached for his sake. Yeah, and your father Esau, okay, your daddy, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, starting with your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, you know, your elites of this current wicked world. Hey, basically you're being reproached for their sakes now, because they've stole all the wealth. Okay, they've taken all the land, all the resources, and they've literally pushed people into slums in the earth. We was doing a little road trip over the weekend, man, and we were just looking at the beauty and the landscape of America. How much, dog, you got 5,000 miles of land in America. That's over, I don't even know how many millions of acres of land that is, but there's enough room in this country for every American family, from man, woman, and child, to have several acres of land, to have acres of land, and to do whatever they please to generate wealth. But Esau doesn't want to spread that wealth. He wants to hoard it for himself. Okay, and this is why the other nations are pretty much fed up with his madness. And it says, the children will complain of an ungodly father, because they should be reproached for himself. Okay, and that's the point. You are being reproached for your sake of your fathers, because your father is the wicked. Okay, we don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for you. Shit, hey, so be it. You know, I ain't, you know, the scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing, you ain't supposed to vex a stranger. Roughly paraphrasing, but I don't give an Edomite shit. I said Edomite on the side of the road, I don't give him shit. Now, if I could peep in the spirit, he may be a Jake, and if I got a sandwich that I ain't eating, or a couple of dollars or some coins, then different. But, well, I get Jake something when I can kind of discern that they're not going to use it for drugs and alcohol. I get Jake something, but I don't give you devils a goddamn thing. I don't give a fuck if you got a newborn out there. We're not giving you shit, okay? Because all the shit you've gotten for us, everything you have here, you stole it. And then you've built up a judicial system on illegal ground, or on stolen land, to enforce your laws on Jake. So hell no, you're getting exactly what you deserve, and I don't feel bad for you. But woe be unto you, ungodly men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High Power. For if you increase, it should be your destruction. And if you be born, you should be born to a curse. And if you die, a curse should be your portion. Okay. And the point is the fact that the curses are being turned upon our enemies now. And it says here, if you're born, you should be born to a curse. And if you die, a curse should be your portion, because we know Esau is coming back as a slave. And it says, and all that are of the earth should turn to the earth again. So the ungodly should go from a curse to destruction. Okay? Because, hey, once your ass is serve your captivity, your punishment, because them curses are going to be on you heavy in the kingdom, then we're going to take you and we're going to destroy you. Okay? But this is the beginning of your downfall. Okay? And it gets worse from here. It don't get no better for you Edomites on this side. So what you're seeing is just basically from bad to worse. So it's going to get from bad to worse. And right now you're looking bad, and it's going to get worse, because if you can't deal with this, how you going to deal with the kingdom? Because the kingdom is not going to be good for your people. You see, this guy's literally on a suicide mission, man. You know, he says he don't know what to do. He can't take it no more. And when a guy's talking like that, then 9 times out of 10, he's getting ready to close his curtains, getting ready to cut the blinds off or shut the blinds. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 1. And let's start at verses 12. It says, seek not death in the air of your life, and pull not upon yourself destruction with the works of your hands, man. Okay. So, hey, the Lord said, in the case of turmoil, when things going bad in your life, don't seek to end your life. Just endure the storm, weather it. But we know Esau was not given that spirit. Okay, that so-called strength and pride he has, that's all a facade. He was not made for the struggle. He can't deal with it, clearly. Okay, but our people been dealing with this for 400 plus years. You know, they can't deal with it. They can't deal with getting evicted. They can't deal with not being able to pay their bills or having their cars repossessed. They can't handle it because they've been bred in entitlement. Okay, entitlement has, and pride has compassed these devils' beings or their abilities to rationalize, man, because they've been used to getting away with murder for so long, to the point if something happens to them that they deem unfair, then all of a sudden the whole world needs to pretty much be attentive to their crybaby needs. And that's really a big thing of the small hats. The small hats can dish out the punishment, but they can't receive it in return. You know? Prosperity. Scripture I'm looking for in the Apocrypha. Here you go, yep. Start at Sirach 11. Let's start here. Yeah, this is Sirach 11 and 11. It says, there is one that laboreth and taketh pains and maketh haste, and is so much the more behind. Yeah, and that's the common American now. Everybody is working. Even Esau Edom, man. You see what he's doing. He's a typical 9-to-5 working guy. Matter of fact, he's a painter. He's starting as early as 5 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes he don't end his day till 7 o'clock at night. Okay, they work from sun up to sundown to get the job done, you know, and sometimes they work in 7 days a week. Like, who the fuck wants to do that? I sure as hell don't, you know. Shit, 8 to 5 is long enough. Who the hell wants to do that 7 days a week? But it says there's one that laboreth and taketh pains. Yeah, that's all of us. And make it haste. And it's so much more the behind. And it's so much more the behind. But again, it says there's another that is slow and have need of help, one-time ability and full of poverty. Yeah, that was us. You know, we need, you know, I mean, shit. If you look at the projects, man, I mean, the projects alone was an experiment of Jake being put in these slums to destroy him mentally, physically, resourcefully. These were all put into play to destroy Jake. That's why it says, and have need of help, one time, wanting ability, and full of poverty. People all suffering from all types of illnesses, diabetes, and they set up these public health departments, which is not even for Jake. They don't even help Jake. They just give him a bunch of fucking you-know-whats and poisons and medicines, and then tell him, like, hey, we're here for your health. That's not true. It says, yet the eye of the Lord looketh upon him for good and set him up from his low estate, and that's going to be us. Okay? We're getting bought up. The Spirit is elevating his men, starting with his elect first, then the rest of Israel, because 2/3 of Israel will be destroyed on his side. And it reads, and lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw him in his peace over all the It says, and lifted up his head from misery, so that many that saw from him his peace over all the prosperity and adversity, life and death, poverty and riches, all come of the Lord. So this is all Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is doing. Okay. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law are of the Lord. Love and the way of good works are from him. Error and darkness had their beginnings together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. Okay, because we know that you devils, man, we know that you are bred in wickedness. So everything that's happening to your economy now is basically the Most High paying you back for all the injustices you've done to other nations. Really are people, okay? Because ain't no way in hell that you're an American citizen and you an Edomite and you poor. Okay? It says the gift of the Lord remaineth with the ungodly, and his favor bringeth prosperity forever, which is that judgment. And it says, and there is that waxing rich by his weariness and pinching, and this is the portion of his reward. Okay, but whereas he said, I have found rest, and now will eat continually of my goods, and yet he knoweth not what time should come upon him, and that he must leave those things to others and die. Yeah, that goes into like your inheritance and so forth. You know, like when you die, if you have an inheritance, then it goes to your children, or a lot of times Esau will come in and take the inheritance. But for the most part, the Edomites, they left land, they left goods, they left resources to their offspring, and they continue on until, you know, the third, fourth generation, they decide to blow it on drugs and alcohol, and before you know it, they have nothing to leave for their children. You see, because they don't teach you people what to do with the money, they just tell you to be consumers. So now you have this guy. But it says, be steadfast in thy covenant and be conversant therein and wax old in thy work. And I'm going to go down a little bit. Yep, let's go down to verses 25. This is really the point. It says, in that day of prosperity, there's forgiveness of affliction. But in the day of affliction, there's no more remembrance of prosperity. Yeah, because he just... Clearly he remembers the old golden days of America. But when he was prospering in those days, because like I said, prior to this scandemic, I mean, people were doing fairly decent, but you still had Edomite that was losing their prosperity, their wealth, especially during the time of the retail housing burst back in 2008. You know, a lot of the Edomites took a hit, but prior to that, Esau was doing fairly good. And if you told them that they was going to be in a horrible situation within the next decade or so, they probably would have scoffed at you like, yeah, right, shit, I'm a white man. You know, and that's the Most High hitting these devils right where they need to be hit. And it says, in a day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. And in a day of affliction, there's no more remembrance of prosperity. Okay? It says, for it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of death to reward a man according to his ways. Okay? It says, the affliction of an hour making a man forget pleasure, and in his end his deeds shall be discovered. Okay? And we know that the deeds of the wicked is rape, robbery, and murder. So like I said, the Most High said that if you render him a recompense, surely and speedily would he return that recompense upon your own head. You know, because we know according to the scriptures, money is a defense. But you devils, you don't have that. Okay, you're just going off bad credit and debt, which technically we all are, but it's looking bad for you because you're not used to dealing with this type of adversity. Okay, so this is the book of Ecclesiastes 7, and I'm going to start in 11. It says, wisdom is good with an inheritance. And most of you devils that have inheritance, you don't know what to do with that. Like you Gen Zers now, you younger, you millennials, you didn't know what to do with all that wealth your great-great-grandfathers left you. You know, left you all that land, left you was old 62 Chevelles and all that other shit, man. You fucked it off. You know, most you may have is a house and a few pigs. But other than that, you fucking off. You got Edomites, and Esau makes up majority of the credit card debt, believe it or not, because they get loans at shit little to nothing. But it says for wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun. And that sun goes into like at times it goes into like the wisdom and understanding, you know. But it says, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun,